Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good day, good afternoon. Welcome to the live. I am actually talking to Mr. Fred Thomas Jr. Just waiting for him to join the live. I hope everybody's doing well, everybody's okay. Yeah, this is my first conversation in the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. Yeah, hope everybody had a good holiday and everybody's well and good. Welcome to the live. How are you? We're just waiting for Mr. Thomas to join in. How is everybody's holiday? How is everybody's New Year? Yeah. What's going on? Thank you for joining. I hope you checked out some of the other interviews. K Tukes, what's going on, brother? Happy New Year to you. Mr. Thomas should be popping in any second. I'm glad you're doing all right, brother. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Here's Mr. Thomas. Did you get the invite, Fred? Not sure what happened. Hmm. Welcome, welcome. We might be having a little technical difficulty. Maybe. Hey, Jordan. Thank you for joining. Blessings to you too. Happy New Year. Mr. Thomas is in the room. I'm trying to get him into this room for the live. I might have to start it over, y'all. Oh, here he comes.
What's
Ah,
up? What
there.
up, brother? Hey, it's all me, brother. Hey, I was up 6 this morning trying to get this right. So, and I still,
Hey, you're in good company. Oh man, he jumped up. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. All right, here we go again. Good morning, handmade body butters. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. Mr. Thomas is here. We're just trying to work it out. Good morning to you too. Here we go.
All right, there we go. Here we go. I'm trying, brother. I'm trying. I'm gonna let folks know right now. This may go out one more time. No,
No.
no, 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 no.
Oh, man. Oh, good morning. How are you?
I'm fantastic, man. How you been?
Man, I'm blessed. I
I
think
hear
the
that.
Happy New Year and all that to you.
Happy New
Everybody,
Year,
everybody good?
Happy Kwanzaa, Christmas, everything,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I think the
It's
last time I saw you was when you were on tour by 12 by 9.
dude. I was about to say that, man. Yo, you realize that was like almost. I think that was 2014.
Wow. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I think it was
Yeah,
2014.
wow.
Yeah, that's crazy,
Wow.
right? That's
Wow. And
crazy.
it kind of seems like yesterday, but it was that far ago.
I thought it was yesterday too, and I was like, "Nah, I ain't talked to my man since 2014." Because actually, your interview was on my website. I
Yes,
still got the
yes.
interview on the website. Yep,
Yeah,
still to this
yeah,
day,
yeah.
brother. Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
everybody
sir.
good? Everything's copacetic?
Everything is copacetic. Super grind, and taking care of family and trying to love life and trying to live right, man.
Okay.
Definitely
So
that.
when I have these conversations, I like to, good morning, how are you? How's everyone? Thank you for joining.
And thanks for
Uh,
joining, everybody. Thank you.
I like to go back to the beginning because
Hmm.
I, I hope that these conversations are inspirational to someone else. And I always try to think about the person that may want to follow in footsteps. And I try to give them blueprints as to things that they can add to their own life or their own journey. Not
Hmm.
necessarily copy, but sometimes they can pull out things that they can use for themselves.
Hmm.
So I like to the beginning to give people blueprints as to how you became who you are.
Ah, cool. Okay. Um, Philly native from South Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Uh, grew up around the way, and was always just interested in acting and writing. And I used to like put on small performances during recess in grade school, and that's kind of how I started my way to the stage. And yeah, joined little playhouses in my neighborhood and things of that nature, and always was involved in some way, whether it was a talent show at a community center or at school, something. I just kind of stayed in it, watched my favorites, Richard
Yeah.
Pryor, Eddie Murphy, Steve Martin, so that was my schooling. Because coming from around the way, you're exposed to a different element of things, and your parents are like, everybody was very encouraging, wanted me to strive to do my best in school. But I was like, yo, I want to be on TV, and they're like, okay, you sitting right here, how you gonna get to there? And it was always kind of like, yeah, how am I going to get to there? So one day, well, actually what I did was I followed the path of, my parents and family went to college, Link
Mhm.
University, HBCU, Link University, PA. But when I graduated, I had my degree in journalism. But when I graduated, I was like, I want to pretty much pursue the acting and filmmaking, and I want to get my hands on equipment. So I applied to Temple University's grad school, and that was like after a year. I had did internships at like MTV, and that's when MTV was like the bomb. Like you're talking about raps, not Rap City, MTV Jams, Yo MTV Raps, like all of that was like just starting. So I was like in the middle
Uh,
of that, and I had my daughter was on the way, so I had to leave New York, go back to Philly, and that's when I decided to get into grad school and kind of build from there. And yeah, started making films in grad school, got my master's, and at the particular time, my boy Charles Stone, he was directing a ton of music videos, and he was a music video director. He's a well known director now. Um,
mhm.
I'm trying to think of some of his films. He's gonna kick me. Uncle Drew, Drumline, to
Hmm.
name a few. And he called, me up and his couple of the friends and was like, "Hey, I want to make this short based off of this concept that I have, about the way we act with each other." And that concept wound up being the True video, the True short, which turned into the Budweiser What's Up commercials.
Hmm.
That catapulted me out to LA, and where I started, working on different productions, producing plays, and yeah, just hitting the ground running.
Yeah. So I want to go back a little bit to the HBCU. Talk
Uh-huh.
about your experience there and why you chose a historical black college. Because I went to a historical black college
Oh,
too.
okay, okay, got you, got you,
I
got
went
you.
to Virginia Union. Shout out
Oh,
Union, Union
oh yeah,
Panthers.
oh yeah.
Talk
um,
about that experience for a little bit.
yeah, amazing. When I say I wouldn't change it for the world,
Hmm.
it made me the man I am today. I had never heard of Link University at the time, and but you get your, you go to, I went to like the Black College Fair, and
Hmm.
had my little collection of black colleges, and I said, let me apply to Lincoln, and I got into this. I was going to go to. I was actually going to go to Johnson and Wales, because everybody wanted me to do business in the family, because I was like, all right, I guess that's what I want to do. I want to run something. I don't know what it was going to be, but and then the application came back from Lincoln. I was like, all right, well, let's go up there. Went up there, small school. It was an hour away. It was like, wait a minute, this might be all right. I'm still close to Philly. I didn't really want to go too far.
Right.
Um, so got into Lincoln, and when I say the best thing ever, man, gosh, I mean, I got stories for days. Just about how amazing the school is, and just because I went to Catholic school for 12 years, so
No, I get it.
so
I get
it
it because
was,
my school that I went to was predominantly white too. So I had
hmm
like a
yeah,
real
yeah,
sea
yeah,
change.
yeah.
It
So
was
it was
important to surround myself with others.
exactly, and the interesting thing about my grade school Catholic school was it was like 50-50. It was like 50% black. Like everybody in the
Mm.
neighborhood went to Catholic school, but high school was different. And then yeah, went off to Lincoln, and it was amazing, man. The people, wound up pledging Kappa Alpha Psi, Epsilon chapter. What's up, you noobs? Yo yo. Um, and met some incredible people, and just the learning just the history of the school and all the giants that came from Link University, and just learning about black culture and
Yeah.
African culture, and just meeting people from New York and DC and Baltimore and California, and learning the different cultures through them. A lot of folks came from Jamaica, was at Lincoln, and from Africa, and amazing experience, man. And that's what kind of basically made the man who is here today. So
So did a different world or um what's I can't think of the movie now. Spike Lee's movie.
School days,
Yeah. Did
man. You
your timeline anywhere like as
I
far
mean,
as like before you went to school?
see, but I the year that I went to Lincoln, I'm telling my age, School Days came out.
Okay.
So the mentality of going to a black college was like, oh my God, it's gonna be like School Days. It's gonna be like a different world, because yeah, everybody watched Different World back then. And I remember going to my first party. Uh, the AKAs had it, and they had it was the
It was
AKA week.
AKA.
It was the AKA week, and they had the first big party of the year, and it was it was like a swim party. Like, oh, like School Days.
Pajama
It was a
jam.
swim party without no pool. And they called it, I don't know, they might have called it the butt party or something like that, but it was a swim party with no pool in the cafeteria. And when I walked in, dude, it was like walking into like it was almost like dude. It was like I can't even explain it.
Yeah.
I mean, to see like, yo, this is like school days, like,
Hmm.
and that was it. I was sold. I was from
Yeah.
that day on. But yeah, school days, different world, major influence, major, major, major.
Yeah. So now we're past the school. You're out in the world. You worked at MTV. You some of the top tier things already in the industry, and now you're a family man, so you're obligated to raise your family. Now what?
Getting my wife to understand, like, that this this business is up and down, like, so
Yeah.
no, it's important that you have somebody, a partner that kind of understands the business, and
Hmm.
understands how you work. If you need your time to write, go and get your time to write. You need your time to study to audition, get your time in. You need your time to map out your, storyboards or what have you, just research, or you just need time to sometimes I'm just like, yo, I'm just go out in front of Starbucks and just sit and watch people,
Mm.
because that's like a thing for me. That's how I develop characters, watching people's mannerisms, either developing characters in my writing or just using mannerisms and things and little quirks that I see that people do to apply them to characters that I might be playing. So I'm always working in some aspect, or we're doing some research in some way or another. And I read a lot, so I read a ton of books. And yeah, I just use all that, and as long as that person understands that, and you understand what they do and respect what they do, and there's a
Hmm.
mutual agreement, yeah, yeah, you make it happen, you make it work.
So at this point, are you still in Pennsylvania, or have you like relocated to?
Hmm.
Because you're still in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, no, I'm in LA. Yep.
Well, I want to go
I'm
back
sorry.
before that.
Oh,
What
I'm
was
sorry.
uh, what was what was the deciding factor for you to make that move to go to?
Got it. Got it. So, um, you know, everything is happening in LA. So as far as like, filmmaking and things of that nature. So being as though I was behind the camera and in front of the camera, I was like, well, LA is probably the place I need to be. There was a lot of opportunities at the time coming across the table. So I said, with the what's up stuff. So I said, all right, I gotta take it and capitalize off it. And yeah, that's what kind of brought me out here. The
So wait,
company.
hold on
Go
a second. Hold on a second. So what I'm hearing, what I'm getting at is you basically weren't a one-trick pony coming out to LA. You basically have more things that you can rely on, which gives you some options. Having choice
Yes.
is a pretty big luxury.
Yes, because
Yes.
the vision, I had just graduated with my master's, and the vision, the plan, and the journey was a was to go out to LA regardless. Whatever
Hmm.
else was going on, my mission was to go out to LA. I had worked at little different film companies and production companies, and I was teaching film to teenagers to build up, the finances to be ready to move to LA. So
Hmm.
when I graduated, just how, God's plan, the what's up thing came at the same time.
Nice.
So I actually didn't even really move to LA the first year and a half because I was on the road touring with doing the Budweiser stuff,
Hmm.
with the commercials. So that helped me sort of just kind of stack cash. And then it was like, okay, then I know I have to move now because there's no reason. You got everything you need. This is what you wanted. You was coming out here anyway. So, and then I had this, my background, just graduating, my film background. It was like, yo, you can do anything you need to do to not only pursue your dream but stay alive
Hmm.
while
Very
you
important.
pursue your dream. If you either you have to, if you got a PA, you PA. If you write, you write. You direct, you direct. You do production coordinator. I worked in entertainment for 14 seasons as a production coordinator. So I had the tools from film school to take me out, to bring me out to LA, to be ready to do anything.
Okay. And that's important because there are a lot of people that think that, they can just hit the scene and they take off from there. It's
Nah,
not nowhere near that easy.
nah. And sometime you will, and then it just might be that one thing, and then there's a break.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you adjust during that break? So you have to definitely sharpen your skills and stay on top of your game and make yourself marketable.
Yeah. So the auditioning
Hmm.
system. Are you a good auditioner? Do you like it? Do you hate it?
Man, you have your days. You have your days, and it took a while to get out of this thing. And I think I'm still practicing, working on this, and probably a lot of actors can understand. After you have an audition, first you work hard to get the audition, to do the audition, and then when it's over, you have this like that Monday morning quarterback thing, like, oh man, that ride home, you like, I should have said, and I should have did. Or you sitting in the head, now we on Zoom, so you do your Zoom afterwards, like, oh man, I should have. But you have to kind of get over it, and wait. If you get the call back, fine. Then you know what to make the adjustments. If not, you move on to the next thing. And
Mm.
that's something I'm still working on. I know a lot of actors are probably still working on it, but that's something, just letting it go. Like, it's over, it's done. Move on to the next project. Move on to the next thing. But I mean, some auditions are fun, and some are just like, yo, what are we doing? But overall, I like auditioning. Yeah, I like it because it keeps you on your toes. Because there's always something new to try. There's
Yeah.
something new ahead. It's a new character. It's maybe a new technique you can use. Somebody you've never played before. So yeah, I enjoy it.
So when you came on my radar, it was actually through Little Mo. Little Mo
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
put us to you highly as Philly Fred,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I come to know you, through her. And
Gotcha.
because I had close relations with R&B divas, it was kind of a easy spot to see you, and that's why. I picked you up. And talk about your experience on that a little bit. Like, how do you get a job like that?
Whew. Wow. We ain't got enough time. Um, okay. So it goes back to just having the qualifications, and being prepared, because I worked in theater um, for a number of years, doing lights, doing lighting, doing production management, stage. I worked with Don Welch Productions for a number of years, producing plays with him. First doing lights, and then producing the plays, and being in some of them. And then my theater background from Philly.
Hmm.
Because just make it clear, I didn't do theater at Lincoln at all. They didn't have a theater program. So everything film theater based was after I graduated from Lincoln. Like I
Okay.
said, was pursuing my own dream. But yeah, so all those things, when I got the call, I knew a producer over there that was looking for a director to do the play, and they called and was like, yo, I got a list of directors. I want to pitch you. I said, yeah, I'm down. Let me know. And I got a call, and they said the network wants to work with you. I said, cool. Now, did I know what I was walking into? No. The whole idea was like, it was like, oh yeah, you're just gonna be featured on the show here and there, and it'll probably be at like rehearsals, um,
Hmm.
or you know, little interviews here and there. To while you talking to the cast members, things of that nature. And then there was there was some things going on before I got there, and I kind of
Yes.
walked into it. and
Okay.
uh and then that's how I pretty much got incorporated into the storyline, because they had to do a play. And let me just say that it it was a lot of work. It was hard. It was hard
Yeah.
because you didn't know what the day was going to be. You didn't know you knew you had a rehearsal, but you didn't know like what production, might have, on their plate of how they want things to be shot, or there was conversations, there were storylines going on behind the scenes that I wasn't a part of that would then play out sometimes, in at a rehearsal or go ahead.
So you being a director of a show inside of a show, right?
Hmm.
Being a director and trying to have order for the thing that you're trying to do, and then you have all this chaos swirling around your base of trying to have order. I know that had to be uh, just tedious and a headache. Like
Dude,
how
it,
you,
it was excruciating. It was probably one of the hardest jobs I ever had to do, and and, and I really enjoy and love this work. But not knowing, every day, just not knowing what was going to happen, which works for the show because it's a reality show, and you
right?
trying to have a controlled environment. The production wants, like, they kind of want that chaos. They would kind of want that conflict.
Mhm.
So I but at the end of the day, I knew, because let me back up, because production gets a show regardless, whether the
Yes,
girls win, whether the ladies win, or whether they lose. And when I mean lose, like if they decide not to do the show,
right.
um, they get a show. The production gets a show. So after sitting down and really having some deep conversations, um, with Mo and Shantae and Claudette, like, I mean, they shared some things with me that was like mind blowing, like that brought me to tears, and I had to kind of maintain myself, you know, um, just as a professional, because we were trying to get them to do this on stage. They believed in me, like with all that chaos and all the stuff that happened, all the misunderstandings. They still believed in me and was like, "Yo, this we gonna rock with this guy. We gonna go with him. Okay, may not know who he is or what have you, but he we gonna rock with him." And so
Yeah,
when I felt that from them, and them sharing their stories with me, I said, "Yo, I have to get this show done for them. This is their
yeah,
show. Because they want to do something. They wanted to do something they had never done before. They had never acted. They had never been on stage and started acting and all that. So to incorporate their music, in their new, endeavor of acting, they they wanted it to happen. So I had to make it right then, and that was my mission, regardless how I felt. I
nice.
had to make it right. And but it was crazy. It was days you come in and it was like, oh, the music is, we can only rehearse for an hour. I was like, because you understand, what people don't understand, we never rehearsed the entire show from beginning to end until we
Wow,
went live that night.
wow.
Yeah, dude. And I had to do the lights. There go my
Yeah,
light experience set in. Dude,
mhm.
I had to do the lights. I had to set the lights in the theater because there wasn't a budget for the technicians and all of this, so I had to run the lights. Um, there was a there's a thing where we were trying to come up with a theme song. Everybody sings, everybody writes, but I'm not a musician, so the business of music and how people handle their business in music, how they write, like, oh, I need to be paid or whatever. My thing was like, we need a song, yo. So I wrote the theme song to the opening show of the play, and I went to Philip,
Hmm.
the composer, musical director. Excuse me, the musical director. And I just brought him a tape recorder of me humming the tune and
Hmm.
singing lyrics that I wrote. And he said, "All right, I got it." And we came back the next day. We went to the studio, and all the Devons, they was there. They had never heard the song, anything. And Philip starts cranking it in, bam, 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 bam. And they looking around like, oh. And I pass them around the words, and next thing you know, yo, they're singing the song I wrote, like the very
Wow,
next day. Yeah,
wow,
he put that thing together in 24 hours, and we
wow.
used that song to open up the show on the stage. So you draw from wherever you need to draw from. You know,
Yeah,
singing in the shower, writing on them little napkins, them little corny songs you might think corny. Hell, they
yeah.
may work one day. So, yeah.
So I'll ask you this: how real was the reality show with your storyline?
Oh,
Because
very
you
real.
had very real. Okay,
Very real. But when I say
okay.
very real, because people say, "Oh, you know, all that stuff was playing," I was like, "Yo, I have to honestly say it was very real." Um, you know, the things that transpired. Like I said, I had walked into something that was going on that I didn't
Mhm.
know. So I think um, other folks thought I was part of whatever was going on, and I'm
Yeah.
just like, nah, I'm here to win, and I'm here to win with you guys. You know, I'm legit. I'm for real. I'm a real person. I'm not acting as a director that's come to cause chaos. I got a name like everybody else here. I got a reputation to be honored, and
Question: so did some of the divas really think that you were a plant, like not
yeah,
really legitimate, and just to shake things up?
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah. I mean, because
Mm.
you know, some of them coming from the music world. I'm not, I come from the theater world, and it's not like I'm on, I'm favorite cats and director cats pop up all the time. And we're on IG and tweeting, Instagram. It's not like we're popular people,
Right.
and the average, director, and unless you do something like Black Panther, but but yeah. So some people thought I was actually a plant,
Wow.
and then I kind of I didn't understand it in the beginning, but then as I saw how things played out, I kind of got it. I was like, oh, okay. That's why I see why you thought I was okay, now because it was a learning experience for myself as well as things unraveled. I realized like, oh, okay, so this is what's going on. So, yeah.
And so you had no one pulling you to the side, like really telling you like what was going on and giving you a breakdown to help you manage in that space better?
Um, sort of.
Okay.
Because I guess there was I don't know, maybe it was a legal thing or confidentiality thing where they didn't share anything, and maybe they didn't want me to leave because because I might have to bounce and like, oh, yo, this is crazy. Because literally, like there's one episode where I was like, yo, and I don't even think I think they might have cut this. Come to think about it, I was like, yo, I'm good. Like, if y'all don't believe who I am and y'all not comfortable with me, you know, working with you guys on this please, because you think I can't, perform this or get this done, I'm cool. You can go with somebody else. I'm good. I do this for a living. There's no bad blood. I respect all you guys. Um, so I mean, because it was headache. It was it was like, oh my god, I'm gonna get the show done. I got to y'all understand. We got to get a show done, and
Mhm.
we can't get this together. Production, you see this? And then it was like, oh, production wants to see that, so I was like, okay, let's figure this out. But then they came together and it was like, all right, we want to rock with you. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I had to go with them. I had to rock with them. Yeah.
So while it's on, do you notice a shift in your popularity and the attention coming your way after you're now on national TV, like every weekday? Well, not every weekday, but like
hmm
like, do you notice that? Do you really see that in real time?
I did. I more so saw it after the show. Because Mo was Mo was ride or die. Like Mo would fight.
Yeah.
Mo fought for me. Mo was like, nah, Fred is gonna be the guy. He's gonna be the guy. So let's make this happen. And so she would pop up, her husband, they pop up at my plays, they came to my plays.
Hmm.
So we take the pictures, put stuff Instagram, so people started seeing that stuff after the show. And then like I'd be in Atlanta and people walk up, from the R&B Divas, yeah, yeah, you did. And this is what made me feel like we did right, because people's like, yo, you did such a good job, it was such a dope play. I mean, because they were amazing. And then like I said, the more of the popularity stuff started coming, yeah, after the show. I think doing the show, I was in the bed most of the time. I come home and get in bed. It's like I gotta go to sleep, get ready for tomorrow. So
What are the
yeah.
hours like during that time? Like what's a work day being on that show?
Uh, it would start off. It was see. It varied. It was supposed to be like, oh, you're going to do like 2 hours a day, on camera, and then after that, you'll have 2 hours of rehearsal, maybe once or twice a week, you know. And it just, but once I got into the story, it was like, oh
Hmm.
yeah, we need you to tomorrow. But I thought I wasn't work tomorrow. Yeah, but such and such happened yesterday when you wasn't, because things were happening. Remember, because they shoot when I'm not around.
Yes.
So things happened and they was like, "Oh yeah, but we're bringing that into rehearsal tomorrow." What? Like, because they got to finish the conversation from yesterday.
So
So,
you're always dragging me down a bigger rabbit hole because now I want to know more.
mhm.
So you still have your real life that you're trying to live, but you're dedicated to this show for work. How does that work against your real life if you don't have a real schedule? Like, are you allotted to be open like certain times a day? Like, how does that work?
um, so going in, I had the time blocked out. I knew how much, how many weeks it was going to be. I think it was like it might have been like a 4 week production schedule for me. As far as like, we don't know know your days, but like I said, 2 hours here, so can you be flexible? So I knew to be flexible,
Hmm.
um but I didn't realize, but I was still like, okay, flexible with knowing that I may be called in 2 to 3 times a week, not that I may be called in 3 to 4 times a week. I may be called in at night. I may be called, oh, something happened yesterday, so now we need you later on in the evening, because they're putting their segments together. So, oh, we got to continue this story line from the other, so now we need you tomorrow morning. So I was flexible with it, so I was kind of prepared for that.
All right, good. And moving on, do you still maintain any good relationships from that show?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much with everybody. I mean, everybody's doing a gajillion things, but
Yeah.
every now and then we'll text. Somebody hit me on IG, or I hit them on IG. Mo, Claudette, Shante. I see Shante just got married. Sent her congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'll yeah, we'll correspond in some way with all the many ways now. But yeah, everybody. Yeah, they was my peeps. Yeah.
Would you do reality TV again?
No.
I hear a lot of people say that. I hear a lot of people say that.
Let me say this. If I know I'm controlling the environment, as far as like,
Mm,
say, if it's like my reality show, like if I'm doing a stage production, but I'm the producer of it that's on camera, and the first and last word ends with me, I
yeah.
might be cool with that. Outside
Yeah.
of me being going on some like marriage boot camp or something crazy like that. Living in the house and nah, nah.
Yeah, I hear that's pretty brutal, and I hear a lot of people say they wouldn't go back after they've done
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah,
people with other careers, like when
right,
they jump into reality where they don't want to have anything to do with it again.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
So now, after R&B Divas is like how long after that do you go on tour with 12 by 9?
Man, like months. Like it
Okay.
might have been like because during that time I was already sort of putting 12 by 9 in motion on paper, making the phone calls, getting with investors, uh, talking to theaters and things of that nature. Um, and so it was happening as that was going on. And then it was like, okay, so after the show was off, pretty much to catch that momentum, we need to start hitting theaters. And it was literally maybe like, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 months after I started. Like, I think we went to the theater here in LA first, and then started from there. Yeah.
Okay. And how long did you take a run with that?
We ran 12 by 9 probably a year off and on. We did Philly, Atlanta, LA. And with LA, we did LA multiple times. So we
Okay.
did like LA twice in 1 year. Then came back like another year, did LA again, but at like a different theater. So yeah, because the theater scene here in LA is small.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, as audiences grew, went from like maybe a thing might have had like a 50 seater to then like a 99 seater, and you pack a 99 seater in LA with a good piece. That's heat.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you like that? Do you like touring?
Uh, with a small cast, yeah. With a small cast, because you're kind of like family. I've toured
Yeah.
with big casts. When I was working with Don, we did the bachelorette party and the divorce, and you talking, oh my God, like 12 people, 12 grown folks, and plus crew, and so you talk about the hotels and making sure everybody's on time and make sure they got their rides and all their requests. So it's a lot. So when I got to the small cast, oh, it was like, okay, bet, we can do this. Probably the only hard thing was me having to shut myself off as a producer and
Mm-hmm.
director when it was time to go on stage.
Yeah. You wore a lot of hats.
Um, yeah, so because even then your brain, like when you step off, you're like, okay, let me see, the light and so on, so I need you stay. And then as soon as you step off stage, your mind goes right back into directing and producing, and then when you go
Mm-hmm.
back on, you go back to acting. So it was hard just trying to make those adjustments. Yeah, shutting my brain off at those particular times to compartmentalize. So yeah.
Yeah. So after your tour successful because 12 Time was pretty successful.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Three NAACP Theater Awards, nominated
yeah,
7 times, but
yeah.
won three. Yeah, the big ones. Yeah.
Talk about that. Like, what does that feel like? When you get the nomination, what are you feeling?
uh, it feels good, man. It feels, when you get the nomination, it feels good. It's one of the things, you want to run outside and tell everybody, like, yo, I got nominated for a play. My play got nominated. And it was nominated for best director, best producer, and best playwright. And then we had like, nominated for best production design, lighting again, music, so getting that nomination was like amazing. And then winning was like, was when you keep hearing your name and everybody's
Mm-hmm.
like, yo, like, cause nobody knows who you really, you got your friends and your peers, and some people know who you are, and then you have the board who votes and whatnot. They kind of know you are, but then it was a award ceremony with like some stellar actors in there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when people just keep hearing your name, they're like, yo, they won again? Yo, who's this? Who's these people? Who's these 12 non-cats? And then
Mm-hmm.
then everybody want to talk to you and take pictures and want to meet. And then they want to, because what we did was we then put the play on right after the awards. So then we can get the momentum from the awards for people to come to see the play.
Yeah.
So it was, it was a great feeling. And, I had a mantra before that. Every morning I wake up and I was like, Black Broadway, Black Broadway, Black Broadway. And all day long I'll be like, yo, you gonna get nominated for something. We gonna Black Broadway. And I just, started, making the way to getting it in front of people and in front of these boards and theater boards. So yeah.
Yeah. What does it take, or what give me a formula or ingredient to create a hit play in your perspective? What's the
Oh God.
ingredient?
Uh, just good writing.
Mm-hmm.
Good writing. Interesting and memorable characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just if you have people in the audience at theater, if you have people in the audience and you hear them gasp or laugh when they're supposed to laugh, gasp when they're supposed to gasp, you're like, okay, I'm on to something. When you hear them, pull you to the side after the play is over and say, this reminded me of my cousin or my sister, my uncle. Um, and it usually starts with the writing. When you hear people uh, recite lines from the play, you know,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and I was like, okay, it's the writing. It's the writing. So it starts with the writing, and then just bringing in an amazing cast, yeah, amazing actors, but definitely with the writing.
Okay. So then, what's your next move?
After 12 by 9,
Hmm.
we're
Well,
still in the back. We're still
more, more so after having this great moment after
hmm
12 by 9, and then
yes.
this high point. So then, what you're looking out? What do you do? Because you're on top of the world.
So I called Warner Brothers and I said, hey, I got this great movie, and they said, who? No, because in your mind you're like, yo, I'm a big dog. I'm gonna get in there. But it's so funny because one thing they don't tell you when you graduate from film school, it's not like you can take a resume and just walk it in and be like, okay, yeah, I can direct this $200 million film. Like, oh, you got Spielberg's resume? Okay, here's my resume too. Like it don't work that way. So yeah, so I mean it's back to the hustle. And I had the opportunity from there. I think I directed uh a play that Don had wrote called 24 Hour Love, that it
Hmm.
was turned into a film. So that kind of happened. Um, I think it might, yeah, that kind of happened around the same time, I think. And I did that. And then I had the opportunity to write and direct a play that I wrote called, I had the opportunity to write a play that I wrote called Ladies Book Club. And they wanted to, who was it at the time? I think it was Image Entertainment at the time, wanted to make that into like a made for TV movie film. And yeah, got that done. She went to Atlanta again and shot that and got that done. And that was a big cast, but it wasn't. I mean, they were all pretty much majority of people were already in Atlanta, but I had a production team, so I had some people to take care of things. Yeah. So we was able to do Ladies Book Club, and so yeah. So after that, it was like, okay, then what's next? And should I stop right there or keep going?
No, keep going.
Okay. So from there, I'm a advocate of just shoot, man, just shoot, write, work. So went back into the lab and started writing and doing some shorts uh, to just to keep the work on. Yeah.
Yeah. So me and my artist friends, we have these moments when you feel you're in between projects or in between. I won't even just say projects, things that stimulate your spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Those are that you have when there's nothing going on and you need to figure out what your next move is or just something to get you stimulated. How do you handle that?
Ooh, wow. I guess the thing for me is locking down on what that thing is, because usually I have a multiple things that I'm,
Hmm.
you starting on this and then you put that down and you start on this and you put that down and you start on this. So it's about just having a discipline to lock in on that one thing, and then just making it breathe, because it feels like you might have a great concept and you're like, oh, that is so dope, and then you start and then you're like, oh man, I don't know where to go from here. So it's about just then, the freestyling stops and you gotta then hone in and go through technique. Like, okay, how can I bang this story out? How can I, make hit the right beats and hit the right moments. So it's about me then doing that. Um, Something I was going to say in reference to that. The other thing is when COVID hit,
Hmm.
that was hard, man. It was because, and it's so, energy, the universe, all that is real, man. It's when that weighs on you, it messes with your mental and your creativity. And it was hard to get stuff out. It was just hard to write because it was just you worrying about what are we gonna go back to work? Are we gonna are we gonna live? If I walk out the door, am I gonna catch this thing and die? Like you thinking all the crazy stuff all the time. How can I take care? How am I protect my family? So that was like a weight, but it was also a great time to then have everybody was kind of still at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was also a great time to say, okay, I can also use this time to try to, excel and just push and punch through this barrier, this obstacle. So, in the midst of, kind of feeling like I was being, locked down, I was punching and pushing through, getting some stuff out. There was something I couldn't write a full piece. Maybe I can write at least do something. I can write a short piece. I can write a poem. I can write a quote. I can write one line. Just a little bit of something to make me feel like, okay, I'm getting it done. I'm getting something done. I'm being creative, and I'm pushing through, and staying true, to the art. So that's been a practice since.
Nice. So what is something that you're looking forward to seeing or you haven't seen yet?
From myself or someone else?
Either or.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Well, there's something that I haven't seen yet. I can't say what it is because I
Okay.
won't put it out in the universe because then somebody will be like, oh, yeah, that. And I'm not saying somebody on this call. I'm just talking about in the universe, like,
No, I got it.
yeah, somebody in, Calcutta somewhere. I don't know. Like, because it's real. Energy is real. I'm working on a piece right now, man, that was pitched to me maybe like 6 or 7 months ago. And I'm banging it out. And I'm like, oh man, oh Pat, this is dope. Creative concept. Oh, this is a dope scene. They're gonna love this. And I'm watching this show a couple of nights ago on Amazon. And damn if these people ain't have the same like beats and scenarios. And it was like, yo, what the hell? Had never known anything about this show. And actually, yeah, the show had just like premiered maybe like a month ago. And
Okay.
I'm like, yo, but you see how, great mind, energy and when it's out there, people, people be on the same track, be on the same, creative track at times. And, stuff cross but at least I know I'm on the right track with that because they made it in Amazon. Of course, I won't say mine is better, of course. So but yeah, there's a piece there's a period piece I'm working on right now that I haven't seen, and I'm working on it with the team. It was pitched to me by a friend, and yeah, that's a pretty big one. It's a pretty big idea. So I
You know, I'm
want to.
looking forward.
I would love
I'm
to see
looking
that.
forward. I'm
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
forward.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what's going on currently? Where are you at right now? What are you working on?
What am I working on? Okay, so I'm on a show right now, acting on a show called Cold and Windy. Um, it premiered January 5th, and it'll be on WeTV for the next 7 weeks. So hopefully you can catch it this Thursday, folks. You can catch it this Thursday. And I play Detective Kane, Grover Kane. The story is about two young ladies who are drill rap artists, and they want to be stars, but at the same time, they're doing these, white collar crimes, and they think that they can kind of live in both worlds. And I guess like the new thing with hip hop is like, you calling other actors and getting them on IG, and then y'all just blasting each other back and forth. So it kind of like incorporates that that new way of battle rap or talking mess or what have you. And
Mm-hmm.
one young lady, Cole, played by Shakira Augustin, she is trying to get her son is in the system, and so she wants to change her life by getting her son out the system and just focus on being a rapper. And Wendy, played by Naja Brene, she wants to elevate her game in the criminal world, because it's lucrative, the attention is addictive,
Mm.
and yeah. So as these two young ladies grow in this business, I play the cop who's on the case to try to put their I'm trying to build a case to take them down, and doing the research, because there's some other things I don't want to give away. There's some other things that they've done in the past that have come to cold case crimes that they're linked to. How about that? And I'm building the case to try to take them down. But the show's dope. They're fire. Yeah, dope music. Music is fire, sick, and yeah, very talented young ladies.
How did this come to you? Like, how did you get this?
So one of the creators, his name is Kenny Young. There's Kenny Young, Phil James, and Vernon Extreme Brown. They're the creators. All Chicago folks. Kenny is the creator of a performance group called Now What, which I was a part of maybe oh my gosh, almost like 11 years ago. We started this performance group, and it's sketch comedy. So we would do performances on stage around LA at different theaters in LA, comedy sketches. And
Mm-hmm.
he was like, yo, anytime I get a show, I'm gonna try to take care of my people. I'm gonna try to take care of my people. So he already kind of knew what we did and what we do, and yeah, the role came across the table, and I came in for something else, and Kenny hit me. He was like, "Nah, this other opportunity is on the table, and I know you can do it. What you think? Take a hit. I'm gonna send you the script. Let me know, but I need to know like, soon, because network is about to go to do this show. I'm like, yo, you're getting the show. He's like, yo, I got a show, and we're going to air. Like we're getting this done. I'm like, all right, so yeah, read the script, and I was like, oh yeah, let's make it happen, and yeah, and that's how it happened. So yeah, but
Do you,
knowing and doing the work prior to and having these relationships helps a lot.
yeah, and that's where I was going with, the relationships that you create in the network and how important that is to your career.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean it's important. If you're good at what you do, it's nothing like getting the call. It's nothing like just saying like, "Yo, we want you for this project," and that's what every actor wants. Actor just wants to offer. Just want somebody to call and be like, "Yo, you." I mean, yeah, you want the Denzel thing. Denzel on audition. You know, what I'm saying. Yeah, Neil Long on audition. They get the call.
Yeah,
So you want somebody to just give you a call and say, "Oh, I know you can do this role," and bring you in. But they have to know what you can do. They need to know your breadth of work.
right.
Um, uh, and that's why you got to just keep working. Try to do as many good projects as you can. So that's on the table, and I just finished a sci-fi horror film
Mm.
uh, based off of played one of the leads, me and the female, based off of a prison system, an experimental prison system in the
Mm.
future,
Wow.
and it's deep. Yeah, like it's probably so far, um, the first scene is probably, wow, one of the roughest things I've ever shot.
Will.
Yeah, so far. It was. I mean, I had to work out and all this crazy stuff beforehand, and still wasn't ready.
Wow.
Like it's when I say it's on like 20, scene is on it's on steroids.
Wow.
and it was a bunch of fun, but it was painful. Yeah, my
When
body.
are we going to be able to see that?
Excuse me.
When are we going to be able to see that?
I just got word from the producers that they're editing now. They're about 45 minutes into the film, so I'm hoping the spring, if not the summer.
Okay.
Yeah, they're figuring some things out with distribution. It's an independent film. They're figuring some things out with distribution. I think they already have foreign distribution. I think they're trying to figure out the domestic stuff right now. But yeah, it's crazy. It's a crazy film.
No, I like that. I like that in my
Yeah,
story.
yeah, and it's a deep story. It's a really deep story.
Okay.
Yeah,
So with the series, will you be able to do stuff behind the camera as well? Do you have that option? Will you
man,
have that
you
option?
that's why I like you, man. You be asking all the right stuff. Producers from Cold Wind, I hope you guys are hearing and listening. Uh, yeah, man, I'm trying to see if I could maybe get behind the chair on one of them episodes, man. I'm definitely pushing for it. So they know my work, they've seen my stuff, and I know they got they got the network, got they slate of people who they want, but I hope that I'm on that short list of directors
Okay.
to get an episode or two or three, or four, uh, yeah, as
Yeah.
well as any other show. And I'm open and looking forward to working on a ton of stuff this year.
Sidebar question. Do you
Hmm.
know the Green brothers, Rashad and his brother? Do you know them?
No, I don't.
Rashad made how he came on my radar. He was BET used to have I forget what the contest was called, but it was
Yeah,
something like Eyes
yeah,
On or Eyes
yep,
On or whatever. He was
yep.
a winner of that. And he came on my radar for winning that, and then I started
Got it.
following him. First feature film was Gun Hill Road,
Oh,
and
duh. You know what? Forgive me. Forgive me. Yes, I do know. Yes, yes. Because
okay,
I think Gun Hill, was it in Acapulco at the time? I can't remember. I've seen it somewhere on the festival circuit. It might have been in Acapulco Film Festival, but don't hold me to that. But I definitely have seen it. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. You put me in the spirit, in the kindred of those brothers because
Mm,
they started out like really small, doing independence,
yep.
doing small shorts, and then they just blew
Yeah.
up.
They're doing their thing. Yeah. Forgive me.
Yeah,
I do know them. Yeah. They're doing definitely doing their thing. Yeah.
yeah. You remind me. You have that same spirit.
Oh, cool. Cool. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you, brother.
What's your dream project?
Oh, wow. You know what? My dream project is to get this film done that I've been working on for about 15 years now.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, this script that I've been not developing, I've been writing, things happen, uh, times change, updating. It's a piece that I wrote. It's called Old Heads, and it's a pretty much a ode and a tribute to the old heads from my neighborhood, whether it be the guys on the corner, the people I used to run the store for,
Mm-hmm.
um, my grandparents, my parents, the seniors in the neighborhood, but the people who made me who I am is an ode to them. And it's about it's three older men who realize that 70 is a new 40 because 70 ain't 70 no more.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
And it's interesting because this film has been like a battle. Like, dude, I've been like right there with it. I'm talking with like heavy hitting cast
Mm.
and a studio come in and just pull the twig and it's just
Mm.
and it's like you just start stacking and building all over again. So
Yeah.
and then the things I've heard about the story um, from well-known people in the business, um, studio execs to producers, and I don't mean bad things like, oh my gosh, this is a great script, but they're old black men. Who's going to go see? Like, I gotta be real with you. Who's going to see old black men? Like, people said that to me, and I had to fight. And what do you mean? These are my people. This is where I come from. This is who I'm going to be at some point. You know. So the things I've heard, which then says, okay, I got to do this film now. I have to. So that's why I've been pushing, still pushing to get it done. And I realized, you know, it's a learning situation. You can't. I thought it was a studio. You have to understand the film business. And I'm honestly, it took me a long time to. I just wanted to come out LA, create. I didn't want to business. I get lawyers and agents. And you got to know the business before you even get to all them. So to hear like, oh no, that movie can't make money. You know, it's like I don't understand. It's not about making money. It's about, you know, telling the story. No, they're like, no, we got to make money first, and then we tell the story second. Things have changed. Things are changing. There are outlets. There, you know, you can finance your stuff now. So that's the route I've been taking. Trying to finance things. Trying to finance it myself, as well as finding other independent entities that may be that do films like this as well.
Right.
Because the story needs to be told. I mean, it's a dope story. Yeah.
So with the success of Black Panther, because, you know, like you just mentioned, the higher ups will say no one's going to go see this movie. It has too many Black people in it, or Black people don't sell, or no one's coming out to see, you know, a story about someone over this age, or they don't want to know, you know, what goes on in this community. Speak on that a little bit. You being inside at points and knowing how it actually goes, what do you have to say to that?
You know, it's some bull. You know, it's I have to admit, you know, I was brainwashed on it, because it's like, all right, well, if that's what they say, then that's what it is. You know, that's the system. They're the gatekeepers. They're the ones who, you know, controlling things, but they're not. The people, the audiences are the ones who are controlling things, because they're feeding into they're serving an audience who they're basically getting paid from. So hip hop is the biggest selling music genre in the world. Japan, China, selling over there. Black folk are selling over there. Morgan Freeman, one of the biggest actors on the planet, over the age of 70, over the age, 80, it's 90 now. So, you know, there's these things that, you know, counter everything that they say. And you have to then say, oh yeah, it can be done. You have to take those wins, the hip hop wins, the Morgan Freeman wins, the Denzel wins, you know, the Viola Davis wins, you know, oh, Black females can't lead a major film, you know, an epic story. You got to take those wins and apply it to yourself and say, no, that's because at the end of the day, the people is who tells you what works. Tyler Perry, perfect example. They pushing to the side for the industry, pushing to a side, long time, making money, developed the audience, got content, got an audience. Oh, you know what? How can we now get with Tyler Perry? Because they don't want to make all the money by itself. So they want to jump in now. So he shut all that down. Him himself, he shut all that down. Showed that like it can be done without the system. Because it's about the people. It's what the people want to see. So
do you think that the success of all those things that you mentioned, has it made it easier or has it made it hard?
I think it has made it easier for those in the business, the elites in the business. I say let me not even say elites. People are pulling the strings, you know, the executives. If you want to go that route, that studio route, it's made it easier for them to understand and say, oh yeah, oh okay, we get it, you know. We get it, but they want to say we get it, and what their we get it is saying that the people get it, but we don't need you to tell us that the people get it. The people are getting it. Um, so yeah, I think it's made it easier to have folks, come in for meetings and more other projects now being looked at across the board, whatever it may be, because they kind of understand that these stories need to be told. They're
Mm-hmm.
important, and they can make money as well.
Mm-hmm. One of the issues that I have with us in the film industry and people of color being filmmakers, because I review films for the Stephen Knight Show. That's my job
Mm-hmm.
over there.
Yep.
And I find it hard with us sometimes when it comes to the production of things.
Mm-hmm.
And and I can normally tell, like in the first 10 to 15 minutes of a production, if I'm going to write it out and finish it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Because if your sound is off, if your continuity is not correct, you know how
Mm-hmm.
it's the little
Mm-hmm.
things, but the little things add up to your overall production. And if
Right.
I can't believe that lighting in the room, when you're
Mm-hmm.
given, this monologue about this sad moment and the continuity is not right when it comes to the scene right before, like I'm going to tune out, like, because I'm
Right.
not buying it.
Right. Right.
Speak to that a little bit about budding filmmakers or new filmmakers or indie filmmakers, the production quality that they put into their art. Talk
Mm-hmm.
about that.
Yeah, production quality is extremely important. Um, because if you see it, then the people who you want to hire you for their TV show or their movie see it. Um, Unfortunately, you know what, things happen. Things happen on films, whether it
Mm-hmm.
be, I always say, filmmaking is the same. Whether it's $200 million budget or it's a $2 budget, the same stuff happens on a
Mm-hmm.
bigger scale, more professional, maybe experienced people, with the $200 million stuff, but the same sort of kind of stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen $200 million films that were trash,
Mm-hmm.
production quality off, you know, scenes, whatever, off. So it kind of goes hand in hand. So it's very important to execute. Uh, have your lighting right, have your sound right, just have it right, because it's easier for people to write you off. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's and you have to understand, see what some filmmakers have to understand. There's going to be a few that's going to get by,
Mm-hmm.
but don't let that don't you can't take that chance. You can't, because then you're trying to be you're basing your situation now on luck. Well, I know half of my film is dark, but I'm gonna submit it to this film festival anyway. I got in. Oh my god! Oh my god! You may never know why you got it. They may
Mm-hmm.
not had no films, so they just because you got into that one, don't mean you're gonna get into the Oscars, or you're gonna
Right.
get into the Toronto Film Festival, whatever. But if your work is on point, and it's on point and it's undeniable, somebody's going to say, "Oh yeah, that's we want that film." And unfortunately, you you don't you don't get to tell the story of how it. Oh my gosh, we ran out of money. You never. People don't go to the movies to hear the backstory, or that you don't talk under your film. Well, see, that was dark right there, because what happened was my cousin ran in the room and knocked all the lights down, and so we couldn't get. You don't get to have that conversation
Right.
as much as you do. People may feel sorry for you after the fact if you get a chance to talk about it, but people don't get to they get to see what they see, and then they make a call. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue, or I'm gonna give them the money. I'm not gonna get the money. I'm gonna support it. Yada yada. So it's important that you execute and try to do it right as much as you can. Yeah. And learn,
Yeah.
ask questions, research. If don't everybody, things like everybody's like wants to be a director because they think directing is the easiest thing because you're just telling people to do. Like, it's
Could you
nah.
possibly think
It's
being the boss and the
yo,
control of everything that's going on is the easiest thing?
what you don't notice, you don't see people running around yelling they want to be a cinematographer
Right.
or I'm a cinematographer. You can't fake that. You can. A lot of people can try to fake the directing, even if they have actors help them direct or have
That
producers
part.
help them direct. Um, People can fake around directing. You can't fake cinematography. That's why
Hmm.
people don't run around yelling, "Oh, I'm a cinematographer." It's a science. It's a math. It's mathematics. It's a whole thing to that. You don't have people running around saying I'm a script supervisor.
Mm.
Detail, paying attention, thorough, meticulous. Like, so you should be that way as a director. It should be a science to you. It should be meticulous to you. I went to the Oscar Museum. There's an Academy Awards museum out here now, and
Hmm.
they have 4 floors. The top floor is dedicated to black generation regeneration of black film cinema, and from
Okay.
1898, I think, to 1971. Only
Mm.
black, right? Only black films, and stars, filmmakers in that time. It's incredible. But they also have a Godfather collection now, a floor that's dedicated to, well, a section that's dedicated to the making of the Godfather,
Wow.
and they have the book, The Godfather, by Mario Puzo, that Francis Ford Coppola used to write his script. Dude, the book is like, the book itself. He ripped out each page and lined it inside of a binder with
Wow.
notes on the page. And every
Wow.
page on this book, I think the book is like 300, 400 pages. Every page, there's notes and diagrams and graphs and every single bit. I'm like, yo, damn, I've been BSing. like you feel like but that's, but that's the detail that
Yeah.
you need to have. And this is a guy who thought that film wasn't even going to be good at all. It's one of the greatest
Yeah.
films ever made. He did all that work and was shooting it thinking it was not going to be that good,
Wow.
but he still was that detailed. So that's a learning lesson for me. Like I'm thorough and detailed, but then seeing that, it's like, oh, then I know I can go to another level. When I got to,
Yeah.
if I ever get an opportunity to adapt a book, that's how I'm doing it. I know how
Mhm.
to do it now. So you have to, yeah,
Yeah. I always believe like when you immerse yourself into that, especially um, when you adapt another art, a piece of art, which was the book, into another piece of art, you have to almost become a geek and a scientist when it comes to translating that into your art form
yeah.
because you want to get it right.
You want
You
to
want
get
to
it
get it.
right. You want to
Yeah.
get it right. I mean, in some cases, you want to make it better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you like the book is great, but I'm gonna try to do whatever I can to make it better. Like
Yeah.
because people want
Yeah.
to see it. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You know,
So now, where are you now? How are you feeling now? Where you are and what you're doing?
I feel good, man. Cold and Windy is popping. Got the project that I'm working on that I'm writing, developing right now.
Mhm.
There's another script I'm writing for someone right now. Um, Pushing the directing work. Did a couple shorts just to kind of just keep in the flow of things and
Mhm.
use it as the continued calling card to pitch myself for TV projects and film projects right now. And yeah, what else? What else? And performing. I'm also performing with the Now What performers. I was saying
Yeah.
you. Yeah, we went from the stage to now doing. We're doing a lot of online performances
Okay.
now. skits and stuff. That's yeah. We took the stage and started filming our stuff. So working with that and yeah, and same thing, auditioning and hustling. You know, it's that's the thing about being a filmmaker. Uh, it don't matter. You always looking for the next gig. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
Spike, Spielberg, Scorsese, everybody. You know, the next everybody's waiting for the next gig. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
waiting for the next money, trying to get 200 million for the next film, trying to get $2 for the next film. Everybody is just, you know, it's waiting for the next script. You know, it's just part of the process. So yeah.
Is there a TV show, like a series or a network that you may have inspired to do something for?
Um, I like AMC, man. I like a lot of I like I
Yeah.
like I like
Yeah.
AMC. I like uh uh FX.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, they're the stuff that they do is very it's out there, it's edgy, it's creative, it's good, it's shot well. And that's going for both platforms.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, you know,
I would
they
have
take
to add. I want
chances.
to add IFC and Sundance to that too.
Oh, hands down,
Yeah.
hands down. Been watching
Yeah.
them for years, man, and now to to see them, they're heavy hitters now. I mean, to me, they've always been heavy hitters in the indie world. Given exposure to projects and filmmakers in the indie world. But now, like the world is like, oh yeah, people also turn on IFC like it's ABC. They
Yeah.
turn
Yeah.
on Sundance Channel. Like it's HBO. So to see that, yeah.
I think this whole streaming thing was probably one of the things that happened to the filmmaking industry.
hmm Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is, especially not knowing what it was going to be, you know,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
uh, because so people have to remember the industry is still figuring it out themselves. They didn't
Yeah.
know streaming was going to shoot through the roof the way it was, the way it
Yeah.
is. They were still trying to figure it out themselves. That's that's why nobody just had a streaming services. Like you had Netflix, and that was like it. Everybody else was kind of like, we're gonna land the cut. Yeah, it may work. It might fit. Man's COVID hit Netflix. Everybody's like, yo, stream service. I mean, I think I got me a streaming service. Come think about it, something around here. But like everybody has one now, and I
Yeah.
think that's where we're going. If they can figure out how to keep the the money coming in for it, yeah.
Yeah. I think there was a point in time when you went to, oh man, there's nothing on TV, to the point where now, oh my God, it's just so much. I don't know what to watch.
Dude,
Like it's so,
it's crazy. It's
yeah.
crazy, and it's so funny. It's amazing. You can scan through thousands of movies on Netflix and be like, nah, let me go to Hulu. Scan through 1,000.
Yeah.
Nah, let me go to
Yeah.
Peacock.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing. Okay, let me go back to Netflix. I think I'm gonna go back.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna watch that one I kind of queued up. Yeah, it's amazing, man.
Anybody you want to shout out, Fred? Anybody you want to acknowledge?
Um, yeah, my family back in Philly, Thomas family, my wife, Kia, who pushes me through, my children, all the filmmakers that are pushing and living their dreams. Link University, I want people from Link University. I want people from Temple University. All my folks from Cold and Windy, and now what performers, and anybody can't think of right now. Love you, appreciate you. Keep doing your thing. Cap Alpha Psi. Yeah, yeah, just yeah. I think that might have covered it. I'll be all day, man. Little Nuck from 15th Street. Mont from the Ave. No.
No, that's important. But listen,
Yeah.
everybody along the way that put little ingredients into making you.
Yo, let me tell you, it's important. And I don't take no friendships or relationships for granted. I will go home back to Philly and be walking down the street and somebody who I haven't seen in like 15, 20 years from grade school be like, yo, oh man, what's up, bro? So proud of you, man.
Yeah.
Hugs all around, just like people that you was like, oh damn, forgot, damn, you was even lived around here. I didn't even know you was still around. Like they remember you. Like
Mm-hmm.
that means a lot. And then me, I'm one of them. I'm a people person, so I try to. I always, I try to remember faces, and I always remember somebody from back in the day. And
Yeah.
sometimes I'll see somebody who don't even remember me from back in the day, be like, "Yo, Kurt, yo, man, Mutt," because everybody called me Mutt back in Philly. So that, it's like, man. So it's important, man, and we need each other. We need people, man. We need relationships. We need to, love each other. All the chaos and madness that's going on in the world. We need things to kind of keep us together as just human beings, and those little things help just go a long way. They make my day, and I hope it makes someone else's day. So it's important.
So one more thing I want to ask you before we, because I'm
Hmm.
all about inspiration. I believe that that's currency that you need to excel on. What is the advice that you would give someone wanting to jump into the business, whether it be in acting, whether it be in production, director, cinematographer? What
Hmm.
advice would you give them in starting out?
I would say study, read everything you can about your craft. Um, Find a role model or somebody that inspires you, and you don't, maybe it's somebody, it doesn't have to be a person that you kind of know. You might not be able to get to, like a Ernest Dickerson if you're a cinematographer, but say I want to be like, you follow his work, you follow all the books that someone's written on him, or his, watch all his movies and see his style and things of that nature. um yeah, just whatever you decide, whatever area of expertise you decide to go into, just do the work for it, do the research. um you'll always be ready to learn, always be a student, because even the greats had to learn how to shoot in 6K now. Guys who were at the museum, there's a gigantic Steinbeck editing system,
Mm,
which I used when I was in film school. But you had to put the movie reels on it and run it through the projector and then
mm,
cut and slice with, yo, that editor then had to learn how to use an Avid or a Premiere system because those things are obsolete.
mm,
So those are the great people learning, knowing now, have to learn technology. They had to go to school. They had to find somebody to teach them. So you're always learning, be open to learn, and be kind and nice to people. Uh, that's important. It's really important to be kind and nice to people. Um, but yeah, do your research, ask questions, and find a role model, and then encourage yourself. Talk to yourself, pump yourself up every day. Pump yourself up. Give yourself a task. Give yourself some goals, and then give yourself a task to try to get to those goals a bit every day. Um, and I think that'll kind of help you lead to where you want to go, and just keep pushing and meeting people and socializing and networking and yeah.
yeah. And lastly, tell people where they can find you and keep up with you. Follow your
Oh
work.
man. All right. Man, I barely know my email passcode. Now I got the you can catch me on IG. It's like, it's crazy now. Like you gotta like embed all your social media handles in your head. It's crazy. You gotta love it. I love it. So IG is I am Fred Thomas Jr. Um, on Twitter, it's Derf Samat, which is Fred backwards, DERFSAHOMT. Um, my website, uh, www.fredthomasjr215.com, and I think I covered them. That sounds about right.
Instagram, Twitter, your website. I guess from your website they can get everything else they
Yeah, you
need.
get anything. Your LinkedIn,
Yeah,
LinkedIn, my name, yeah.
Fred, brother, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. You're like one
Dude,
of my favorite directors, and
hey, stay
so
right there.
appreciate
Hold on. Stay right there. Stay right there. You see that? You
it.
see?
I so appreciate it, brother.
And I
Anytime that I
appreciate you.
ask, anytime that I ask, you always make time for me. I so appreciate that. It's an honor for me to even know you, brother.
Oh, thank you, man. Let me just say, to the folks watching, this, as you can see, I met that brother. That was in 2014, and he has still been building his platform, audience. As you see, there was no IG in 2014, right? I don't think it was IG in
I think there
2014,
was, there
or he
was,
wasn't on it, right? Wasn't
right,
on it.
exactly, exactly.
So you also see he had to learn and be a student of the new technology to get to a bigger audience and he's doing it and he's growing and yeah, he remembered his folks, and I'm honored and appreciate it big time, and congratulations to you, and much success, and keep building, man. And yeah, anytime, whatever you're doing, I'm on it, man. So
Listen, as long as I can talk and I can sit in front of a camera and do this, I will be doing you. And
amen.
you always have an invitation on anything that you want to talk about. Because I'm a student of the arts. I
I
say
appreciate it.
art matters and great art inspires. And you, sir, are a great artist and you do
Oh,
inspire.
thank you, good brother. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. God bless you and your family. And
Thank
again,
you. God bless you and your family. Happy New Year, good brother.
thank you.
We're back.
Take care.
All right. Peace.